Hi, everyone. I am Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and welcome to the Sunday Talk Show. I can't wait to get into this discussion. Today, we will be talking about saying no and mean it. So, first of all, I got to start off by saying shout out to my members. Thank you guys to all my members for supporting me and supporting this channel. And before we get into the Sunday Talk Show, we have to start with our channel song.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hi, guys. I am Marlene. I am the content creator for Marlene Motivates. And on this channel, I talk about positive, motivating, and encouraging videos, inspiration, story times. So if you're new to the channel, I would love if you would subscribe. I would love to have you here as part of the Motivators family. So today on the Sunday Talk Show, we're going to be talking about saying no and meaning it. Okay, so before then, let's see who's in the chat. Welcome, everybody. I would love if you guys would share it out. Hey, Angela, how are you doing? Happy Sunday to you. Welcome in. Thank you so much, and I hope you and your family are doing good. Hey, Boss Life Online, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I appreciate you for being here. All my members, please drop the link to the membership by putting in exclamation point member. Thank you so much, guys. Hey, Six Gunner, how are you doing? Good to see you. How are you? I hope you're well. Hope your family's well. And join us on the discussion. Thank you guys for all my likes. I see that already. Thank you, Boss Life Online. I just filmed a haul for my other channel. Yes, Boss Life Online just put in exclamation point member. Thank you so much for being one of my members, Boss Life Online. So, guys, today on the Sunday Talk Show, today we're going to talk about saying no and meaning it. This topic, I think, is very relevant and very important to each and every one of us in different ways. Great. Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, the dice is doing fine, and I am as well. Thank you so much for asking. Hey, Cornice, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today? Hope your family is doing good as well. Yes, guys. So today's topic of saying no and meaning it is very near and dear to my heart because everybody who has known me for a while knows that was like the major problem that I had in my life going through therapy. I had a really difficult time learning to say no. And I know that there's people out there that probably are just like me who has a problem maybe saying no, but or maybe you could say no, but you really don't mean it. So today we're going to talk about just that. So let's get right into this discussion. Saying no and meaning it. We have to learn to say no and mean it. And why it's important. There is 10 things that I came up with in my notes to talk about saying no and meaning it. And the first one, number one on this list, is we have to think a decision out all the way. Sometimes when we are making a decision or we're thinking about doing something in our life, we don't think about things from A to Z. We basically just jump in and dive into something because something looks exciting, because something is new, because maybe the crowd is following us or something to that effect. But we have to think things through all the way, all the way from the beginning to the end. So, no problem, Angela. Thank you. So, yeah, we have to think our decisions through all the way from the beginning to the end because that's what people who are have wisdom. You can have knowledge, but it's time that we use the wisdom that we have. Before you go and jump and dive into something, anything, no matter what it is, a business venture, things for your family, things for your kids, maybe something personal, you're going to go into business. We got to think things through all the way from the beginning to the end. And also, I'm going to preface this for those who are people of faith. Don't forget to, or discount the power of prayer before we go and jump into a decision, a big, especially a life changing decision, we need to ask, is this good for me? Is this going to benefit me? Is this going to be good for my finances? Is this going to be good for my emotional health? Will this be good for my finances? Can I afford this? Is this something that I can afford? Because we don't want to jump into things and then we go through financial hardships because we didn't think things through from the beginning to the end. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Yes, facts. Yes, but prayer is so important. It's so important. And I know that we say that a lot of times, pray about things. But really, are we doing it? Are we really doing what we said that we're going to do? So start off right there by starting off with prayer. Hey, Edward, how are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, all my members, put in the chat exclamation point member to have your link dropped. Join on the discussion, guys, if you guys have anything to add as well. If you have something to say about saying no and meaning it. So, number two, we have to speak up for ourselves. We have to speak up for ourselves. We have to understand that we are our own first friend. Are you being a good friend to yourself? Are you treating yourself the way that you should? It shows by the decisions that you're making right now at this very moment, especially when you have big decisions, even in small decisions. We have to learn to speak up for ourselves. We have to be an advocate for ourselves. If you don't advocate for yourself, who is going to? We sometimes expect other people, whoever you're in a relationship with, your family, maybe on the job, we want other people to speak up for us and kind of protect us from things. But we got to speak up and say what we want. What do you desire? What do you want in your life? We have to learn to speak up, be a voice of reason for our own self, because if you don't tell people what you want, you're going to settle for anything. Yeah, that message is for somebody right there. If you don't know what you want, you're going to settle for anything. So you first have to know the guideline and the outline and where your life is headed. Where are you on your journey in your life right now at this very moment? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? See, you got to learn to speak up for yourself. Speak it out loud. Speak it into existence as it has already happened. When we learn to speak up for ourselves, not only are we giving that back to ourselves, we're reinforcing it to ourselves, but we're also telling other people, this is what I'm going to stand for. And I'm not going to stand for anything less than this because that's what you deserve. Yes, Boss Life Online, speak it out loud. We can't just say we want things in our life, but we have to speak. Have you verbalized it? Do you tell other people what you want? We have to claim our abundance. If you can't claim what it is that you want to receive, sometimes we don't get what we want because sometimes I feel that we don't believe it. We sometimes don't believe what we say, right? We may not believe it. Okay, so let's go on to, oh, I forgot to say, we have to advocate for ourselves. What does it mean to advocate for ourselves? It means that we have to be our first line of defense. You got to be your first line of defense. If you don't speak up for yourself, if you don't protect yourself, if you don't say what it is that you want in your life, highlight it, and do all those things. Who is going to speak up for you if you don't speak up for you? It's very important, especially on the job, especially when it comes to your finances, especially when it comes to kids, because if you don't outline and highlight, okay, this is as far as you can go, and I'm not going any further than this right here, people will know where they stand with you. You have to let people know where they stand with you. You have to. If you don't, you will definitely be a doormat. And we're not going to be a doormat any longer. Maybe a few months ago, maybe a few years ago, maybe even yesterday, you were a doormat. But today, we will not be a doormat to other people taking advantage of us. We're not going to allow people to speak negatively to us. We got to speak up for ourselves. And if you don't, you are going to regret it and be sorry later. We don't want to live in that space. We are going to speak up for ourselves and tell people what we want. And when we say no, we're going to mean it because we advocate for ourselves. Okay, number 3, when we say no to things that we really don't like, we are not respecting ourselves. One more time. When we say no to things we don't really like, we don't respect ourselves. So we have to say no and mean it when we say something. And we're sometimes like, I don't really like that, or we feel it's something disrespectful, or we're trying to go along with the crowd, okay, please everybody. But we're saying no to things and we're very unhappy. We have to learn to say no to things that is not good for us, that's not healthy for us. We sometimes allow toxic things, things that aren't good for us, things that we really don't like, and we keep saying yes to things, but in our mind, in our heart, we're kind of like, oh, I don't really know if I want to do that. I don't really like that. Hey BJ, it's good news. How are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Sunday to you. Welcome in. Hey Metrosonic, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're well as well. Please give me a like for everybody who is watching right now. The likes really help me out. So yeah, guys, let me say that one more time. When we say no to things we really don't like, we show that we respect ourselves. Because if we're saying yes to things and we really don't like it, we don't show that we respect ourselves. We have to learn to respect ourselves. We have to respect ourselves. If you don't respect yourself, who is going to do that? So stop saying no to things that you really don't like. Stop saying no to things we really don't like. And we do it sometimes more often than we realize. Somebody asks us, oh, let me have some money. You really don't want to give them the money. You really don't like it, but you feel like you have to sometimes. So you go through and do it. Or uh, maybe going to a restaurant that you really don't like. We have to learn to speak up and say, I don't like that. We got to learn to respect ourselves. We got to respect our own space. We have to respect our own opinions. Hey, TSM rapper, welcome. How are you? Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're doing well and your family. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. It's always good to be blessed indeed. Yes, Metro, I agree wholeheartedly. Yes, we got to speak things into existence, speak it out loud, and let people know where they stand with us. If we don't speak up for ourselves, then we will fall for anything. And that's how you become a doormat. So let's not be a doormat. Yes, welcome them. Hey, Sugar Love, welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming, and happy Sunday to you. I hope you and your family are doing well. Hey, Donna, welcome. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you. And I hope you're having a great day so far. And also, everybody in the chat, join in on the discussion. It's important to respect ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, and reward ourselves. Uh, Filled with joy and happiness. When the answer is no, no means no for something that we may not like. I agree, Metro. I know for a long time I used to struggle with saying no to people because, number one, I just wasn't strong enough. I didn't have enough backbone to say no when I really didn't like something, when I really didn't want to do something, when it wasn't within my journey in my life at the moment. So we got to learn to speak up for ourselves. We have to. Thank you so much, Boss Life Online. Appreciate you. Yes, blessings to you as well, Donna. So, guys, where are we on number 3? So, let's go into number 4. How to say no and mean it. Number 4, don't buckle under the pressure. Don't buckle under the pressure. Sometimes people will pressure you to do things that they want for their own advantage, for to get their objective met, to get the things that they want met. But in the meantime, you become unhappy, miserable, financially drained, stressed out, physically drained. So we got to learn that we can't buckle under the pressure. It's nothing wrong with doing things to help other people. That's wonderful. It's wonderful to help other people. But we have to remember we got to put on our own oxygen mask, right? We got to save our own self. You got to save and take care of you. You are a very important individual. And I think sometimes we get sidetracked and distracted thinking about family, kids, job responsibilities that we don't even put our own self on the table. What is it that you want? What do you want in your life? That's a big question. What do you want in your life? And sometimes what you want in your life is not in line with what other people may want from you. Thank you, Donna. You got that right. It's important to speak up and work things out. Exactly, Metro. Work things out for you. Work things out for yourself. Okay? So sometimes we buckle under the pressure because people pressure us. They're bullies. They try to force us to do things that maybe you really don't even want to do. You're not, it doesn't make you happy. And they try to say, oh, come on, everybody else is doing it. Or say it's a restaurant and you really don't like it. Or they want you to go and hang around people that maybe it's not people that you really care for. People bully you, but we have to learn to not buckle under pressure. When we say no, we have to mean it. No, no matter what you say, I don't like that. It's not good for me. It's not good for my finances. It's not good for X, Y, and Z. And it's just no, no with no explanation. I had a hard time getting that one out. So number 4, don't buckle under pressure from bullies or even from guilt. I know that is a big issue for me, myself too. I may say no to somebody, but I'm a little hesitant because I feel guilty. Sometimes when you help people for a while, or even sometimes you're not even helping people, you're enabling them. You're enabling them, you're handicapping them because you are doing things that is not at a service to you. You're actually harming them because you're not helping them to be independent. You're not helping them to make their own decisions. We sometimes have to cut that umbilical cord from people and make them make their own decisions. And yes, sometimes they're going to fall flat on their face, but we have nothing to do with the decisions that somebody else makes. It's not your place to raise a grown person. It's not your choice to make decisions for a grown adults or enable other people. That's not your responsibility. That is not your problem. And we have to learn to stop enabling bad behavior. Peer pressure and taking advantage is very unhealthy. Needy and clingy is never healthy. Respecting and having patience are much needed, and it will take time to adjust. Yes, it's not easy. I'll tell you guys that. It is not easy. It's kind of frustrating in the beginning. Like the first time I started saying no to people, I was like, no, because I really didn't want to say no, but you have to do it for yourself. If something is making you feel sad, if it's disrupting your mental, if it's just disrupting your finances, if it's disrupting anything in your life, or it's just something that you don't like, you got to say no and mean it. Don't just say no. It's important to breathe and stay hydrated and live healthy, especially staying positive too. All of that is important. Every single part of that measure is so important. Let your conscience be your guide. Yes, sometimes we we want to do things and help people, but like I just said on point number 4, we fall into the pressure. We buckle under pressure, or we feel guilty that we can't do things to help people. But we have to understand, we're not somebody else's savior. It's not your job to save another adult, another grown person. It's not your job to help people to grow up. Either a person grows up or they don't. We have to learn to start pulling back from people. It's not your job to raise people. It's not your job to take on other people's responsibilities. It's not your job to take on other people financially. It's not your job to take in all of the toxic drama that other people try to feed you. Say no and mean it. It's not good for me. No, I don't want to do it. No, it's not right for me. And that's it. That's the end of the response. Okay? So let's get into number 5, guys. Say no and mean it. Respect your differences of opinion. I feel that this is a really big one. Respecting your differences of opinion. Sometimes other adults can't agree with you or get along with you if you are not being a yes woman or a yes man. You have to do exactly what they want. You got to be right under them. They got you right in the corner, buckled up. But no is a full sentence. No is a full statement. We got to learn that we have to respect each other's differences of opinion. And when we say no, we mean it. And you don't have to make an explanation to that. It's no, period. And that's all. And sometimes we think that we need to know people's backstory. You need to know, why is it that you say no? You don't. You don't have to explain what it is. It's no, and that is it. Say no and mean it. Yeah, you may not agree with it, but people will respect you when you stand up for yourself, when you advocate for yourself, and when you do it consistently. See, sometimes we say no, but we're not consistent in it. We have to learn to be consistent. It's no when it's no, period, point blank. And I'm not going back. No matter what you say, I'm not going to change my mind. We have to respect each other's opinions, and we show that we respect ourselves when we say no and we don't go back. This is my opinion. This is what I want to do, and it's no. See, the more that people see your consistency, the more that people see your drive, this is, oh, she's not going to change her mind. So don't try to change her mind. Or if you're a male, you're not going to change his mind. We have to be men and women of fortitude. We have to be strong. We have to be courageous and learn to stand up for ourselves. We sometimes are not strong enough in our mind. We're not strong enough sometimes in our heart to be able to stand up and advocate for ourselves. This is my personal opinion. And as adults, we have to learn to respect each other's differences. While I may not agree with what you are saying, you are going to respect me. We don't have to be disrespectful to each other. We can have various opinions and the way that we feel, but we have to learn to say no. Say no to the things that you don't want. Say no to the things that is not healthy. Say no to the things that is not right and in line with your journey. Okay? Yes, BJ's good news. So, guys, what is it that makes you say no? What are some of the things? I want you guys to put that in the chat. What are some things that you say no to and you mean it? Stand by that. One of my biggest things is I say no and mean it, especially if somebody does something to hurt me, if somebody lies to me. That's something, it's no, and I mean I'm done. I mean I'm done. Because when I lose trust in somebody, it's done. It's a wrap. Yeah, some things maybe you could have a disagreement about something, but for me, lies, I can't go back with lies. So that's for me a no, and I mean it. I mean what I said when I said it. You guys let me know, what are some things that is a no from you? No matter what somebody else said, they're not going to change your mind. No one wants to talk sick, sick and drama around. Yeah, yeah, nobody wants drama. I know, I personally, I don't like drama, and I find that the older that I get, the more that I know who I am, the more that I can see me doing the things that is meant for me, in line with where I'm supposed to go in the journey of my life. And anything outside of that, anything that is going to drag me down, it's a no from me. It's a no. So we got to learn to do that. Opinions, and all opinions matter with respect, but as long as it's positive, and that's all that matters. Exactly, Metro. We got to learn as adults. We sometimes, as adults, when somebody says something and we don't agree with it, we sometimes like, they're stupid or something like that. No, let's not be disrespectful to each other. We got to learn to respect each other's differences. We come from various backgrounds, different things. Each and every one of us has been through all kinds of trials. Even right now, today, in this very moment, you may be going through a hidden trial that nobody even knows that you are dealing and coping with. So we all are going through different things, have been through different things, and that is what shapes our attitudes. That's what shapes our brain. That's what shapes your hustle, maybe even your personality, to who you are today. But we have to learn to respect each other's opinion. That's just it. Breaking trust, lies, leaving out important information, just any type of foolishness. I agree, Six Gunner. That's one of the things I can't go back on. I can forgive people from different things, maybe miscommunication, maybe X, Y, and Z. I don't know. I can't think of anything right now, but for me, my biggest thing, when someone lies to me, I can't go back. It's one of those things that I have to do. I have to make a decision to protect and love myself. We got to learn that. Stop having unhealthy behaviors and stop saying, because I hear people say, oh, forgive them, forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is important, but it is in a certain realm. There's some things that you don't allow people to take advantage of. You don't allow toxicity in your personal space and in your life. We have to learn that too. And sometimes I think it's well meaning. Sometimes family members will say, oh, you always talk about forgiveness, but you won't forgive. No, there's certain things that I cannot forgive. Once a person grows up and you get mature and you know what you want, you don't need all of that in your space. So don't let people manipulate you into going down their rabbit hole of lies either. Right, Metro? Showing respect is important, whether we agree or disagree in the statement. Yes, it should be a generalized thing. We got to learn to respect each other. Whether you agree, whether you don't agree, it's important to show respect to each other. That's what I try to do. I think when I was younger, I used to struggle with that because I felt like if a person didn't agree with me, that meant that they didn't care about me. And it's not true. We got to learn that each person has different thoughts, different opinions, and we got to learn to respect each other's differences. It's very important. I hope somebody who didn't get that before today gets that. Very important. Learn to respect each other's differences with respect. Okay. So, number 6, Say no and mean it, and don't live with regret. See, sometimes we have regret because we didn't say no. We said yes to things that we really didn't want. And later on, you have all of this, sometimes resentment. You have to deal with pain. Sometimes we go through financial crisis because we didn't say no when we needed to say no. See, why would you want to step into the regrets? Why? Why regret when you could just say no from the beginning? But I'm telling you guys, it's not that easy. It takes a lot of courage to speak up and stand up for yourself and say, no, I don't like this. No, that's not what I want to do. No, that's not in line with my journey in my life. No, I don't like X, Y, and Z. See, you're going to feel so good down the line to say no to things than to later on live with regret. It's not worth it to live with regret. All of you're saving yourself from the pain, you're saving yourself from all of that, the finances, you're saving yourself for so much. If we just learn to say no, you're going to save yourself a lot of wasted time, wasted effort, wasted energy. We waste so much energy on other people and we say yes to them. And inside, in your heart, in your mind, you want to say no. We have to learn. This is an exercise that I had to do when I was going through therapy. Look at yourself in the mirror. And if it's something that you're struggling with saying no to, speak it out loud. Have that discussion with yourself. I am going to say no to this because of X, Y, and Z, because I am sparing myself X, Y, and Z. See, sometimes we have to highlight the reasons why we have to say no. It may not be easy. It may be a hard pull on our heart because maybe you want to help the person, but we got to understand you can't save everybody. You can't take care of everybody. Sometimes you have to love yourself more than you love somebody else. Come on, somebody with me on that. We have to love ourselves more than we can love somebody else. And that means saying no so that you don't have regret later. Very highly important. Yep, having trust and honesty are much needed. Staying true, very important. Yes. I always say I am not doing that, and this is why. If they keep on, well, I say, well, guess you don't understand. No, so I am walking away, and then they stop. We have to speak up for ourselves. And if people are not getting and understanding, like Boss Life Online, maybe they don't understand. Maybe they do. Maybe it's a manipulation thing. One of the main things people who are manipulators do. They try to play the mind games, manipulation, always using guilt trips. Oh, I thought you cared about me. Oh, I thought you loved me. They'll find a million ways so that they can twist your mind, your heart, and your finances to get you to go along with them. But don't be bullied into doing things. Say no and mean it. You have to be kind and respect each other's opinions instead of insulting it, in that point of view. Exactly. But really, it takes maturity to be able to listen to another person. It takes a lot of maturity. It takes wisdom to step back and say, okay, while I don't agree with that, I can respect you. I can respect that. See, that's how you open and widen your reasoning, open and widen your thinking, right? It's very important. It shows that you're mature. It shows that you love yourself and as well as respecting others. Yeah, I don't want to try something that I may not be interested in, and the answer is no. And if something interests me, the answer is yes to try something out, right? So you got to know what you want. That I think that's a main big thing sometimes why we don't say no to things, because sometimes we may be gullible. We don't have the right amount of knowledge about something, right? We don't really know. So people sometimes hone in on your vulnerability. They hone in that you don't know things, and they use and they abuse you and manipulate you. So this is just to protect you guys. I want to protect my team of motivators. So don't let people manipulate you. Don't let people use you. Learn to speak up and stand up for yourself. Why? Because we love ourselves. Why? Because we are somebody. Speak it out loud and speak it out loud today. I am somebody. I am worthy and I deserve to say no to things that is not good and right for me. Okay? That's a very important point that I want you all to get. There's always forgiveness and second chances with trust. Sometimes, Metro, I wouldn't say always forgiveness, because there are some things when people cross the line and go too far. Some things is you have to go into protection mode and protect yourself. So there is forgiveness in some things, but some things no. Some things, that's when you gotta protect yourself and put yourself in a bubble and say, right now, I got to protect myself. So let's go into point number 7. Say no and mean it. Here's why. Point number 7. You can't afford it. I'll say it again. You can't afford it. Sometimes we say yes to things financially. We don't look at things all the way down to the end of the road, and we just say yes to things, and we know we can't afford it. We know it's going to make it difficult and hard for us. We know that it's probably going to be on a credit card. We know that X, Y, and Z. So if you can't afford it, it's not within what you can afford. It's not within your means. So we sometimes we want to keep up with the Joneses. We want the latest and the greatest. And while that's great, it's great to have the newest cars and shoes and this and that. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. We got to say no to things and mean it to things that we can't afford. See, we're not saying no forever, but no for right now. The financial aspect is so important. We don't know what other people have to do in order to have what they have. We look at another person and you may be jealous and want what somebody else has. It doesn't mean it's no forever. It just means that maybe right now you financially can't afford to get and do just that. Hey, Purple Tube, welcome. How are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing well and your family. Thank you so much for being here and join in on the discussion. Yes, guys, sometimes we can't afford to do things, right? We can't afford things. We financially, you may be struggling, and then somebody else says, hey, let's do X, Y, and Z. And then you know in your mind, in your heart, you know your financial means at the moment. And you'll say, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, yeah, no problem. Or we let people borrow or hold some money, and we know that we can't afford to give them that money because that puts us at a deficit with our finances. So we got to learn to say no to things that we can't afford. Say no and mean it. No, I can't afford to. No, I can't do that. No, I can't help you. I can't afford it. I can't do it. And it's okay. It's okay to not be able to have certain things, but we got to learn to accept that. We sometimes want to please other people, make kids happy, make family members happy, make X, Y, and Z person happy, make a job happy. But what about us? How are you doing up here? See, we have to understand the mental. We have to understand the emotional aspect of it all too. Just like I said earlier, we don't want to say yes to something and then later on live with the regret, especially when it comes to the financial aspect. I say yes to something and then you get this big bill and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this? See, we got to think things through all the way from the beginning to the end. As my dad used to say, look at things all the way down the road from A to Z. Cross your I's and dot your T's. Look at it, think about it, pray about it. Whatever it is that you do, look at things, all of the aspects before you just jump and leap into financial ventures. Okay? Say no and mean it. Hey, Melda, welcome. So good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. How's your family? Welcome in. And thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate that. Yes, it's so important to love yourself. It's so important to love yourself. I feel like that is one of the most important lessons in life. Self love. Self love is so important. And if you have not told yourself today is a great moment and it's a great time. I want you to speak out loud, speak it into existence, insert your name. I love me. I like to look at myself every single morning, look at myself in the morning and say, Marlene, I love you. Marlene, you are somebody special. Marlene, you are a person of value and meaning. Marlene, go ahead and possess all the joy that is inside of you. See, we have to learn and understand that it's very important to speak that out loud, not only to know that we love ourselves, but to verbalize it, say it out loud. It's important to not only say it, speak it, and also live it, right? By our actions, we have to show that we possess love. And that means saying no to things and to mean it, okay? So we would think a decision out all the way from the beginning to the end, okay? And we would say no to things that we financially can afford, okay? Let me take this one off the screen. Amen, 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 Melda. Not only speak it, but believe it and live it. Yes, yes, Six Gunner. That's what one of my channel sayings. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. I feel that that's so important for you to go through that, all of those steps in your life. Know who you are, live who you are, breathe it from the inside out, and then live your best life. That is so highly important. And I want all of you guys to do that each and every day. Not only know who you are, act like who you are, but live in it. Live it in the space. Let your energy show up that you know who you are. Hey, for now, welcome. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Uh, no, it's not a deny, it's a delay because maturity is not developed yet. With when it's developed, I think you're saying when it's developed with humbleness and gratitude. Yeah, we have to learn to grow up. It's really a hard thing, and it's not no shade or anything to everybody, to anybody, but we sometimes are not fully mature in certain attitudes and altitudes. See, sometimes we have to learn to humble ourselves so that we can be elevated. You got to accept things about yourself maybe that's not good, so that you can get better, so that you can grow, that you can gain more wisdom. See, how are you going to get more in your finance if you can't even control what you have right now? We got to learn to take care of what we have in the moment so that when we get more, we know what to do with it and we won't just waste it away. The same thing with our mental ability. We got to learn to, when it's time to take a break, when it's time to pull away from things that is harming us and hurting us, the wrong attitudes and the bad reasonings of other people, the manipulators and the users. Yeah, we have to stand in that space. Thank you so much, Melda. Hey, Smart Aviation, welcome. I didn't see. Maybe I didn't put him on the screen. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Let's see. What other comments did I miss? I think that was it. Okay. So let's get into point number, I think it's 7. Point number 7. Yes, we got to learn to say no and mean it. So before you make a decision, anything that you're trying to do, say no and mean it. Take a breath. We sometimes leap into things. We sometimes speak things out of our mouth. Somebody says a comment to us, somebody does something to us, and right away we blurt something out of our mouth. We got to say no and mean it. So we sometimes have to step back from things, step back from wrong attitudes, even our own. We sometimes don't have a good attitude ourselves. We aren't in a good headspace maybe at the moment. So it's very important. Learn to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. At any moment throughout the day, take a deep breath. Sometimes you just need a moment. So take your moment and learn to take a deep breath and to say no and mean it to things that is not good for you. Say no and mean it, especially with children, especially with family members, especially on the job. You don't have to be a yes woman. You don't have to be a yes man. Stand up and advocate for yourself. It's very highly important. So take a deep breath. That's how we know maybe sometimes we need a break. Maybe you need a few moments. Maybe you need to take a vacation. Maybe you just need to spend some time doing something for your hobby. We can't always serve others. We have to learn at certain moments, we got to serve ourselves. Think about you. You are somebody's mother, auntie, cousin, uncle, father, something. You're somebody's co-worker, you're somebody's something. So you're important to many different people. And we have to understand that as men and women of light, we extend ourselves sometimes too far. You may be extending yourself too far, and you got to learn. I got to take a breath. I got to take a moment. I have to get involved in some self-care. So sometimes saying no to them is saying yes to ourselves, right? Say no to others, and that means saying yes to you. Because why? Because you're important. Why? Because you're special. Thank you so much, Donna. Appreciate you. Melda, it's so hard sometimes to do the right thing. We will get there. It takes discipline. Yes, it does, Melda. It takes a lot of discipline, especially I know for myself, it takes a lot of discipline for me personally to to say no to things, especially if I have been enabling somebody for a long time. Let's just call it what it is. We sometimes enable children. We sometimes enable whoever we're in a relationship with, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is, whoever you're in a romantic relationship. We do so much for them, but we're not doing anything for ourselves. We got to learn that you're training other people on how they're going to treat you, right? You are training people on how they are going to treat you. So show them the right way. I don't know. I can't see what that emoji is. But thank you, Donna. Physical and mental health are very important to maintain before making a decision, thinking before doing or saying something. Yeah, Metro. I find that so hard, being a human. Sometimes someone does something and immediately you blurt it out your mouth, something just because you're angry with somebody, or just because somebody is getting on your last nerves, or because they have set you off and you just have been bottling up your pain, you're bottling constantly, and then one day you just have an explosion. So we got to learn to take a breath, and we got to learn to say no, because it's healthy. It's not healthy or good for you to always say yes to everything. That's not good. You can't say yes to everything. That's not good. That's not loving yourself. That's not being kind. That's not being compassionate to yourself. We got to think of ourselves as well. So, this is point number 9 on saying no and meaning it. If it doesn't bring you peace, say no. We sometimes things can be chaotic and people can be bringing in the chaos, bringing in the drama in your life. But if it's not bringing you peace in your life, say no. If people are adding to your anxiety, they're adding to your stress in your life, say no and mean it. Don't allow people to continuously stress you out. People sometimes stress us out to a maximum degree. They stress us out. They stress us out. And you feel like you're going crazy sometimes. But have you personally pulled the plug? Have you personally said no to them so that you can say yes to you? Put on your oxygen mask so that you can protect your own self, protect your own heart, protect your own self physically. We got to love ourselves and don't allow people to keep doing things to us that takes away from our peace of mind, the peace in our heart, the peace in our finances. All of that is important. So say no and mean it to anybody who is taking away from your peace. Uh, yes, I think I read that one already. You have a spirit and you have to have courage and having faith. You can do anything. Just trust and believe in yourself. Exactly. Exactly, Metro. Exactly, exactly, exactly. You got to trust in yourself. You got to trust in and love yourself. That's so important. Thank you so much, Melda. Okay, so if it doesn't bring you peace, if it doesn't bring you peace, say no to it. And I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard to say no to people who you've been allowing to use you. It's going to be hard to say no to children that you just look at their faces and be like, oh, but you're so cute. It's hard to say no to people, especially people that you love. But how much do you love yourself? Okay. How much do you love you? Put on your own oxygen mask first. That's highly important. So, this is the last point, guys, on saying no and meaning it. Number 10, say no to anything that is going to cause you not to love yourself more. See, sometimes we know we want to do X, Y, and Z, and certain things are outside of that. Some things is stopping, slowing down our process, slowing down the amount of love that we could be giving ourselves because other people are pulling it away. Other people are harming us, are hurting us, or are rude to us. And we just keep taking it and taking it and taking it and taking it. That's not being just a strong person or a forgiving person. We can't allow people to keep taking from us and hurting us and harming us and bringing in the toxic behavior because that's not good for us. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. Learn to love yourself more. Love yourself more and love yourself more today. Every day we have an opportunity that anything that we were doing that was wrong yesterday, every day is a new opportunity to make changes. So use your opportunity today. Don't allow anybody after today to manipulate you. Don't let anybody use you. Don't let anybody take away your peace of mind. Don't allow anybody to stress you out. That's so important. So say no and mean it. Why do you mean it? Because you love yourself. I say no and I mean it because I love me. And I hope you guys do the same. Continuously love yourself. It's a journey in this life to keep on loving yourself. It's a journey, it's a journey, it's a journey. It's a work in progress, but you can do it. You have to know and understand how important you are in this life. We sometimes don't understand how much value we add to people. We don't understand all of the things that we are good at. We don't sometimes appreciate and know our talents and our gifts because we're so busy letting other people use and take away from us that we don't have time to focus on doing what we need to do because they have us sidetracked. See, but the more that you love yourself, you're going to learn to stand up for yourself. You're going to be courageous enough to say, no, I love myself more than that. No, I deserve better than that. We have to claim that. We have to believe it. We have to have it not only inside of our heart, but also inside of our mind. So love yourself and love yourself today. So I'm just going to go over all 10 of the points from today. These are my thoughts. I didn't get the information from anywhere. This is the ideas that I had, and I hope you guys benefited from this today. Say no and mean it. Point number one, we have to learn to say no and mean it. Here's why. Number one, we have to think a decision out all the way from the beginning to the end. Number two, we have to say no and mean it because we got to speak up for ourselves. We have to be an advocate for ourselves. We have to be our own best friend. Number three, we have to say no and mean it when we say no to things that we really don't like. If you don't like it, respect yourself enough to say no to it. Number four, say no and mean it. Don't buckle under the pressure. We sometimes get pressured by bullies or we suffer with guilt because we feel that we have to do things for others and we don't. Don't buckle under the pressure from other people. Say no and mean it to anything that you don't want to do. Number five, say no and mean it. We have to respect our differences of opinions. We sometimes don't agree with what somebody else says. They may not agree with us, but we have to learn to respect our differences of opinions. Taking a deep breath and drinking water are important to relax and clear your mind. Yes, Metro, got to take a deep breath so that we can think. Very highly important. This is powerful. Say no and mean it. Yes, Melda, got to mean it. Don't just say it, mean it. Metro says, live and learn every day. Right, Metro, every single day. It's a work in progress. Number six, say no and mean it. Don't live with regret. It would be worse to say yes to something and later on have to deal with the consequences of not being strong enough to say no. You could suffer from financial harm, heartbreak, and heartache. Bad decisions when it comes to business ventures. If you don't like something, say no to it. Don't live with regret. Okay. Number seven, say no and mean it. If you can't afford something, say no. We don't have to live up with the Joneses or be like anybody else. If you financially can't afford something, say no. It's okay to not be able to have certain things. It just may be no for right now. Number eight, take a deep breath. We sometimes need to learn to take a breath, step back from things so that we can really think about our decisions. Number nine, we have to say no and mean it if it doesn't bring us peace. If you are suffering from something, somebody is bringing stress to your life, anxiety, toxicity, we have to learn to say no and to mean it. And the last point, number 10, say no and mean it because we have to learn to love ourselves more. Remember, you are your first friend. You got to advocate and love yourself. We got to learn to love ourselves more. And that means we got to say no to anything that is going to be self harming to us. I am Marlene, and I am the content creator for Marlene Motivates. And I thank you guys so much for coming to this discussion today. Thank you to everybody who came into the chat. And for those who are watching on the replay, thank you, Replay Gang. Thank you for being a motivator. And if you're new to this channel, it's your first time watching my live stream in this channel, I would love if you would subscribe. I also have channel membership on this channel. I would love if you would join my channel membership. I have many different options that is out there for my members. And in an hour and 15 minutes, we're going to have the Love Channel Member Show. And the Love Channel Member Show is where we, as me, myself, Boss Life Online, Pandy's Hair Candy, and more, and Sylvia of Be Amazing Sylvia, we each shout out our members. So that another perk of the membership. And I thank all my members so much. And your member shout out is coming from the Love Channel Members Show. I thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I say to you, God bless you too, Melda. Say no and mean it. Say no and mean it. I appreciate each and every one of you. Walk in your blessings. Know your worth and your value. Hey, Miss T with the T. I was just about to get up out of here, but thank you for coming. I would love if you guys would all like and share. And for those who are watching on the replay, leave me a comment in the comment section below. How do you say no and mean it? I am Marlene of Marlene Motivates. And as I say every single video, story time, and live stream, just know it. Just breathe it and be it and live your best life. Bye, guys.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive.